What's up, YouTube? Okay, so just for the record, I watched current thing recently. I watched a little bit of Velma, watched a little bit of some Doom Patrol. Watched the Snyder Cut because I finally decided that I was going to. Yeah, I don't care. I decided that I was going to discover what it's like to actually watch TV shows again. And this time I'm going to report on them. Fun story. I physically felt ill after watching Velma for any period of time. I think I got through episode 3 and was just like, "This is awful. Like it's not even enjoyable, which is bad." And then yeah, it's not. I don't know who it's written for, but clearly they didn't. They don't make things for customers anymore or fans of any kind of show. Um, excuse me. I don't know what their intent was, but it's pretty terrible. Yeah, of course I'm gonna go with basic. Anyways, it was really not good. It was like depressing. Um, Made me concerned about the well-being of everybody else. The Mindy Kaling, the whole kit and caboodle. I was actually worried about her mental well-being, so that was a that was a bummer. And then I happened to cross Doom Patrol, and boy, I was pleasantly surprised. Um, Not the greatest thing ever. It's not the greatest movie or TV show ever, but it's really enjoyable. And you don't realize how much you miss Brendan Fraser until suddenly there he is, and it's just like, boy, man, I haven't seen you in a long time. Miss being a fan of the guy. It's kind of silly to say out loud, but yeah, man, like I miss the old school Brendan Fraser movies where you got to really got to enjoy, just the good stuff. Um, because it was always sort of wholesome, but not the most wholesome thing ever. It was just, I don't know. There's something about it that the old Brendan Fraser movies and TV shows and things. The guy who was literally everywhere for the longest time, and now he's kind of persona non grata. I mean, it sucks, but like you don't realize how much you miss of a guy until suddenly he's nowhere to be seen. You find out why, and it's pretty crap. Uh, the whole situation that happened with him and Hollywood, really. It's not a good story. Um, and he was blacklisted because you know he decided to speak out against somebody who um, did something bad to him. We'll keep it PC here. Um, and it makes you really wonder, what kind of people are these that make movies and TV shows? It's like I said, I'm already worried about the mental health of Mindy Kaling if this Scooby Doo is any indication on her mental health. You can kind of say what you want, but I mean, I feel bad for her. uh, but no. Then But no, I was watching Doom Patrol with my wife, and it's really refreshing. Like, it's I guess it's kind of a take on how how superhero culture has really divided itself into the best of the best, and then sort of the B squad, if you will. And the B squad's not the greatest thing ever, clearly, but their story is so much more interesting than other um, some of these other superheroes that we have endless media levels of content on. um it's weird, it really is. I'm going to have to take a break for a second because I apparently am in need of helping my son get his shoes on. 'Cause, child and adulting and things. I am streaming, yes. I mean, you guys can come down here if you want. Dauntless, the less violent game. Yes. Daddy, why is he cutting things off that guy? I don't know. Evan, go away. It's pretend. He's not really doing any damage to the man. As a matter of fact, the actor probably was very concerned about the uh, the young actor's well being, and yeah, it was graphic. Yes, I'm sorry. I am not great with remote controls, especially when I have to search for them to actually find. Oh my God! Yes, it's my fault, honey. You're right. It is my fault. Uh huh. Joke. Ha ha ha. Where is this last one? Am I just not seeing it? Or am I just missing it completely? You. Not enough. don't don't promise me a good time. If you yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you guys probably can't hear what my wife just said, but I said I love quoting dodgeball. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a car, and she was just joking about she wants to come home before it gets too dark and too unsafe to travel in traffic. Details, details. Forgo headlamps. Um, I love you, honey. I love you. Uh, 222. All right. My Slayer. Journal. Behemoths. Oh, hey, look, I discovered a new pain in my ass. And another new pain in my ass, even though I've pretty sure I've killed one of those before. It's fine. Quest and bounties. What is this? Trial hunt? Why does that sound terrible? Uh, dude, I barely hear what's going on the TV. I'm gonna turn my mic up too, so I can sit further away from you, and you won't have to wield an Aether Striker. Oh, strikers. I don't even want one of those. Hunting pass. Nothing. Nothing worth anything yet. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna go for a hunt. Yeah. No. What? Oh, umbral. Got it. Nope. Hunting grounds. Your weapon level isn't high enough. No duh. There we go. Very hard based on the equipment. Really? I really gotta level these things up. Oh. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna go this and this. Yeah, I don't care about that. All right, now let's go for the hunt. Let's see this one. All right, just gonna go around killing things and murdering stuff because that's fun. Um, yeah, I haven't done a video in a while. Okay, so let's talk about Doom Patrol. I really like it, but I've only gotten through the first 3 episodes, so I can't give you like a full review. But I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. It's great to see Brendan Fraser back. Um, the the premise is pretty good. Um, I don't know. I really kind of enjoy it, but I may change my mind further down. It might get worse, it might get better. I don't know. And then what else? Oh, I watched the Snyder Cut, and to be fair, the Snyder Cut makes a lot more sense when you get a point of reference, really. Like a point of reference for his uh his premise for the movie or his scenes, the things that were cut out. You get a very good idea of just what was cut out and how the movie was actually significantly changed with uh, with what they did to it. You know, and it's kind of weird that that's a situation that you see Dark Side, you see a glimpse of Apocalypse, you see all kinds of stuff, and it's kind of neat that that's where we're at. Is that they really did give us they gave us a much better movie than we knew we were getting, and it's like it's kind of neat that that's where we're at though. And it kind of, I don't know, I really did enjoy it. That oh, um and I'm gonna say it like Snyder Cut, like if that was the movie that we got originally, I think I would have been a lot more happy about it because I really did. I enjoyed that movie better than I did the original, and I own the original on digital. I really liked the original, um, but I feel like this one was better. I honestly feel like I enjoyed They're oh, he's dead already. Oh, come on, man. That's rough. um, I don't know. It was it. I don't know. I just liked the movie better. I don't know what else to say about it. The slow motion was kind of overdone, but I mean, to be fair, it wasn't awful. I mean, I've seen worse movies. Clearly, I've seen worse TV shows too. Um, so the fact that I've seen worse doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't enjoy. Um, didn't mean I didn't enjoy the original or the theatrical cut, but Snyder cut was much better. It there was a lot from it that made a lot more sense as opposed to oop, I missed completely. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of there were a lot of things I didn't really enjoy about Snyder Cut. It wasn't much, but it was very clean. Wasn't so comic booky, but at least with Cyborg's arc, it made a whole hell of a lot more sense. Um, it seemed like there's a lot more effort put into his storyline, and it made more sense, which is neat because I think his storyline made a ton more sense. We had a real idea of who he was, what his struggle was, and I feel like the effort put in was a lot better in telling his story. God bless it. It just seemed like the story made more sense. It was more coherent. The parts made more sense, and that they really did a good job of giving you Darkseid, giving you all these other characters that you were responsible for understanding that are in this universe, and that's okay. Um, it's perfectly okay to give us a character that we don't know off the bat, off the rip, and give us a let us find out, let us figure out through DC Comics who these characters are and what we needed to do, which is what made Marvel's Avengers saga make a whole lot more sense, is because they went about it the right way. I don't know who Thanos was in the original. I can honestly say I don't know what his role was. I didn't that wasn't part of the comic books that I read. That was weren't what my experience was. and that's okay. Uh, but that's the thing is like I didn't have those comics. I didn't experience those comics. So what I had was just a very basic understanding of what was what was going on in the Avengers, what was going on with all those other characters, and I had a very rudimentary understanding of it. And you know what? I feel like I was better off. Um, but then with DC, I watched a lot of the movies, the TV, like the DC movie universe, the comic book movies that they had. Um, those are some of my favorite. To be fair, that is one of my favorite. Some of my favorite movies are there, and you know what? There's something to be said about the fact that and it's funny because we, as comic book fans, like I was a big fan of, I was a huge fan of X Men. I was a big fan of Spider Man. Those were my go tos. Those were my choice of comics. And I gotta tell you, the comic book store I went to, like my local comic book store, um, not to toot my own horn or anything, but it wasn't the like you get nostalgic for a certain kind of comic book store, and those stores really, the ones we had back in the day, just they didn't really have a whole lot of the best stuff. You were lucky if you got you were lucky if you got a good TV show. Um, you were lucky if you got a comic book that wasn't totally mangled. Like like we were thrilled when we got one that was in such decent condition that we could actually take it out of the packaging because we were kids and we were trying to really enjoy the comic books that we had. There was something really nice about being able to take it out of the comic books and read it, actually take it out. Physical media, there's something great about it. And we really did love comic books. And there was something extremely, I guess, very old school about it because, kids nowadays, everything's digital. Um, and that's the thing is like everything's so I don't know. I like you get nostalgic for the good old days when comic books were media you could read, were a thing that you read, and people really did enjoy it. Like that was what we loved was going to the comic book store on a Friday night. Well, actually, it was Saturday morning. We'd go into a comic book store and just see what toys they had for sale, see what you know what lesser comics they had available to us. What kind of like just what were their what were their what was on sale because we weren't rich, we didn't have money. I mean, most of us were just happy that we could afford the $1 comics, and they were not good. They were pretty terrible. And the thing that I remember most is that we would go down there, we'd get a couple Spider-Man. I got like a Daredevil, comic, and there were it was it's really a Daredevil comic book where he fights Venom, but it's like 2049 Daredevil. So it was out of order. There was no previous comic available to me, so I didn't know what led up to that particular instance, what was the scenario, why they were fighting. Like there was some little justification for it, but ultimately it was just kind of a, hey, here's a comic book of Daredevil and his cohorts, which I didn't know about because I had never read this particular Daredevil before. Um, that's where we were at. Is that we had characters that we hadn't discovered before, and we enjoyed them. Man, like that was cool. Never got into Magic the Gathering. I had sports, and no offense to the nerds who catch this, but I had friends, and I had sports and video games, and I had everything else. I was playing. I was playing a lot of Mario. I played Mario 2. I don't know that I ever finished Mario 2, but I mean, who did? 'Cause it was so weird. It was an odd video game for the Nintendo. I remember my aunt bought me a space game, and that space game was for a Super NES. I owned a Sega. like these are things that are real. These are experiences that we all at some point had. We had that lovely aunt or uncle who thought they were buying us the new next gen thing, and they thought, they talked to the guy at the store. The guy at the store said how great it was, and the problem is that the guy at the store has no idea what we own as a system, but he knows what he owns, and so that's where he got his point of reference, and it's just like the craziest thing because I mean, I swear to God, we had no idea that what this, what this guy was doing when he suggested buying this thing because it wasn't good. I mean, it was look, the game was fine, not my cup of tea, but my buddy loved it. He I ended up giving it to him because he had a Super NES. It was a cool game to play, but it wasn't not my. I was playing Madden. I was playing MVP baseball. I was playing all these other games that we had available to us. All right, you wanted that, you got it. Yeah, I don't have to chase you to kill you, Chief. Um, and that was the thing. Like as kids, we grew up. We had so many options. Um, Less than what the kids nowadays have. Kids nowadays have the option of everything at their fingertips. Emulators that they can play games that we played when we were kids. They have that option that's available to them. What's not available to us or wasn't available to us then is look at all these like I didn't play I didn't end up playing actual Pokemon. I didn't those old emulator or those old Game Boy games. I didn't actually play one and beat it until I got an emulator on my phone. Okay, like this is the generation we grew up with. Um, my mom didn't have enough money for a Game Boy. Yeah, sure, really wasn't that expensive, but I had a Super NES, I had a Sega, or no, I had an NES, I had a Sega. So why would I bother with why would I bother with all the other stuff? Like what was so great about the other the other systems? What was their big the big thing that they were calling for? You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't care. I don't care about I don't care about the current gen, the Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5. Those are cool, and they're yeah. I'm throwing a dip in my face. Those were cool. They were enjoyable. It was great, wonderful, whatever. Um, what we didn't care about was what was the next best thing. You know what we cared about when we were kids? The games. We cared about the games. How cool were the games? Was the system worth buying because the games were cool? If it wasn't, guess what? We didn't care. That wasn't our deal. If the games aren't worth playing, like I played, what was that? That Spider-Man game that they had where it was Venom and Spider-Man. Maybe it was Carnage or something. Um, and I distinctly remember like how hard that game was, how enjoyable it was, and what I remember playing that game. And whatever happened to Silk? I mean, was she too sexualized for the mainstream? I think that was her name. Kind of looked like a generic cat lady. Um, Only hotter, had white hair. Um, you know what I mean? Like that was kind of always surprised me when man, that was well played by them. Those were the cool days. I remember watching Jason versus Freddy. Those were the good old days. We used to watch horror movies not because they were great, not because there was anything special about them, but because that's what we had available to us. And you know what? It was fine. You know, we turned out fine for the most part. Sure, were we a little mentally damaged? Probably. But you know what? We also learned a lot. We learned that, well, some of us learned that you should probably wait until marriage. uh, that going camping at a place called Camp Crystal Lake was not a smart idea. That if you kill a janitor, there's a good possibility he'll come back and kill you in your sleep. just saying. But that was, when we were kids, that was what we experienced. That was the learned adventure for us. Is that we learned that sometimes it's better to just be a good person. You know what I mean? Like that's what we learned, and it kind of worked out for us pretty well. We learned a long time ago that sometimes less is more. Like the Michael Myers movies. Uh, just because you couldn't see what was happening didn't mean that you needed to see what it was happening. Sometimes it was better that you couldn't see the mangled bodies of the people who killed him or were getting killed. And that was the thing is like We we learned the value of putting in the effort. When we grew up, we watched Sandlot. A movie that by itself is not the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you know what was great about it was the lessons you learned. Um, to befriend people, to go outside and play video, or play baseball, to the good old sayings, touch grass. Yeah, we used to do that because there was nothing on. We had 3, 5, and 8 for a good long period of time. We were basically used as remotes for TVs by our parents. Our parents wanted the channel changed. Guess what? That was our job. We'd get up, go change the channel, or go up, get up, change the channel, grab something to drink for them, so that they can continue sitting and watching TV because they, worked hours and hours. Now I've got an Xbox controller upstairs where I watch on my Xbox. What I don't even know what Xbox One. I think that's what it's called. I have an Xbox One at home, and I watch movies on that. I watch television shows on that. I have subscription services to Amazon and Hulu, and you know, when I buy movies, I buy movies on Vudu or you know one of those services. I can buy them on Amazon. I can buy them on all these other subscription services and all these video services. You can order movies through Walmart and get Walmart movies that way, or get digital versions of the movies that way. And like that's where we're at, man. Like these kids never had to go and find a DVD that they wanted. They never got to experience what we experienced as kids. Not that I'm advocating for it, but like everything's at the touch of their fingers. They can basically they have access to everything on their phones. We didn't have that kind of access. We loved when we had the ability to make a collect phone call. We enjoyed, you know, movie night was kind of an event for us. We'd go to matinees. Not that matinees existed then, because back then movies cost less. Those matinees that everybody loves to go to. Uh, that's still more expensive than the price we used to pay to go see these movies. You wonder why all these movies are $1 billion movies, because they are literally just charging out the wazoo. I mean, think about Gone with the Wind. A good example of that is when Gone with the Wind. When it came out, I'm guessing a movie cost what 25 cents to go see. It was a nickel movie or quarter movies. I don't know. I'm not that old. Uh, that's something you might want to say for Gary. um, but like that's the thing. Like we when we went to see a movie, we went to see a movie. It was sort of an event. You go, you see a movie, go out to dinner afterwards, talk about the movie, or when we went to see, me and my buddy went to see The Incredible Hulk. Um, there was something great about how that movie was, what that movie was, what it was about. We loved the Hulk comic books. Mostly read them in store. We never actually had enough money to buy them. Um, because they were more of a premium comic as opposed to what we normally had, which was we would buy. I had a lot of Spider-Mans. I had the Blood Brother series. I had all these other fun comic books, but I wasn't a collector per se. I just enjoyed certain comic books. I'd read them in the store and I'd be like, all right, cool. I'm going to take this home. I'm going to buy it. And back then I was taking quarters out of a piggy bank to buy them because that's how much they cost. Now, I'm a well employed person who has a job, who gets paid, and it doesn't really feel like it. That's neither here nor there. That's not the point of my rant. But like, I work long hours. I don't get very much time with my family, so what little time I do get, I spend it, with my family. I spend it watching movies with my wife, talking about current things with my daughter. Like that's my release. Really, that's where I get to spend most of my free time. Um, is giving them is talking to my son about all the fun movies, and he's 4, he doesn't really understand yet, so that's on me. But we used to just enjoy doing the thing. Like that was our favorite part of you know weekends, and we used to spend time watching old movies like Weekend at Bernie's, or Caddyshack. Those were the movies that we spent most of our time watching and enjoying them because they were just movies. And I had to explain this to my wife that a lot of times I miss escapism. There was something great about movies back in the day where we got to there were some things there's some things I miss um about the classics. There's a lot of like just the pure getting in, seeing a movie, enjoying the movie for what it's worth, um, getting out and not being lectured while I'm watching the movie. I watched Thelma, and all it was, look how terrible you are. You're a terrible person because I had a hard time in high school. That's essentially what we got. What I got from the TV show is that she had a hard time in high school, was treated not well by her peers, and that somehow that is my fault for being not her, or not having the same experience she had. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to say, or how I'm supposed to feel bad about that because I didn't do it to her. She's actually older than I am, believe it or not. Mindy Kaling is not a young woman. Um, and that's the thing is like we don't I don't understand why she feels like it's everybody's else's fault for her bad high school experience. Yet the truth is like we all went through hard times in high school. No one was exempt from it. No one had the best time in high school ever. We all kind of had our bad experiences, and a lot of times we all had those friends that really had it rough, really had it harder than us. I there were kids that were poorly treated and were just not treated fairly, not treated well. And I kind of I did my best to be a friend to everybody because I don't care about clicks. I never cared about clicks. I never cared about being popular or being the smartest or any of that. I was more worried about just being me and just getting through it because I think everybody else was under the same impression that it'd be easier to have friends and just get through it as a team rather than, you know, have to fight and struggle and and have a hard time getting through high school as a kid. It was easier to realize it was us versus the teachers rather than, us versus ourselves. That's kind of where we were, and I don't know what happened. Um, it's become very clicky. It's very it's all about everybody else. It's all about how we can, how you can make other people feel bad for how hard or how poor your home life is, and if your home life was the worst, you got the extra brownie points. We didn't care about that. That wasn't important to us when we were younger. I mean, we didn't care about any of that stuff. It was all about, you know trying to get through, uh, trying to survive. Really, I don't know that perhaps maybe we're just different that way, but that's the thing is like we didn't care about that stuff. Video games is the ultimate playing ground where the field is level. That is my wife.
Hi.
Say hi, honey.
Hi. You had
Uh,
a good run.
good. Um, no, I'm just talking about you know, how back in the day it was a lot easier to be just friends with people. Like you didn't have to worry about all the politics of today. That wasn't important. What was important was making friends. We were more worried about making friends and keeping friends than we were about,
You like Doritos? I like Doritos.
yeah, let's be friends. Like we just like I miss the good old days. Like I used to
It
go to
was easier to be happy back then. You didn't have as many choices. You either were or you weren't.
um
What are you saying?
it's a quill. It's like a porcupine monster.
Oh. Is it something?
Oh no, usually it's death nil. Um but no, like I you know, we I don't know, we things were easier back in the day. Like we didn't have access to phones, we didn't have access to the internet. The few of us that did,
You had a phone. You had to stay next to the kitchen. Hey, Curly.
right, yeah, we had limited.
Cover your mouth. You need a drink? Okay.
But no, I mean that's kind of what I miss. I miss the simple times. The back in the day things were simpler.
This is pretty. Is this her?
No,
Oh.
no, these are I don't know where this is. I don't know where it takes place. All I know is that
Ooh, that's cute.
oh, it's cute. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, cute until it tries to kill me. Right? That's adorable.
Look at how it jumps. That's just big. It's just playing. You're shooting it. It wants to.
It doesn't want petted, honey.
Look. Oh, it's birthday cake. Nope, baby. It's chicken. Just pop up. That, that was supposed to get back quick. Mm.
I don't care. Do your thing. You know, here's the funny thing is like we I don't know, we that's the thing is like we didn't we weren't worried about the social political climate. Your skin color didn't matter. You were a person. That was more important to us than anything. And I guess that's on us because that was the generation that we were. We didn't care about anything. None of it was important. We were more. It was more important for us to. It nowadays it sucks. Like we're so busy being worried about what everybody thinks, everybody's feelings, everybody's emotion. You know, I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. Do I care about your emotions? Yes, because I don't want you to be upset all the time. I want you to be as happy as we were, as happy as we can be. But uh I can't make you happy. I can't give you what you're hoping for. Um and if you're hoping for all the happiness in the world, that's not up to me. That's up to you. That's up to you to find your happiness. We can only be so happy, and oh, that sucks. We can't make I can't make you happy. I can't make you you know I can't make things better for you. I can't make society more understanding. Um, what happened to that kid who got beat up by the cops in Memphis? I can't fix that. I don't have any part in that. I don't have say in that. Um, do I wish he was alive still? Of course. Are you kidding? Who in their right mind wouldn't want him still alive? Like that was crazy. I watched some of the video and it was just terrible. Like why has society become this? Why is this okay? Why is this accepted? What happened to society that this is where we're at? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why. I remember back in the day, I worked at a gas station, and this poor kid just came in. He had a rough night with his girlfriend. It was not a It wasn't one of those like he was up to no good. He came in to buy a black and mild. His girlfriend said that he had a weapon on him or something, and that's the extent of what happened. And you know, the cops knew who he was, and they made a ton of effort to not do anything other than take him down. That's all they wanted. That was the extent of their interaction. Was look, we were told that you have a weapon on you. You're at a gas station. Not that this guy strikes me as somebody who's going to be easily defeated by a skinny dude with a knife, but that was a concern. It was a concern that they were like, okay, well, we're going to make sure that we're going to disarm, make sure he's not armed, and that was what was more important, was making sure that the situation got resolved and that they were careful and safe. It wasn't important that, you know, mind you, uh, the man in this story is a black man, and he was a regular customer. And when he was going to buy the black and mild, the cops saw his hands in front of him, and he lowered his shoulders when the cop told him to, put his hands up. We just want to talk. We just want to have a conversation. We don't want any trouble. Just do us the favor of making sure that this is not. We don't want you getting hurt. We don't want to get hurt. We want to make sure that this situation is resolved as fast as possible, and that's what they wanted. Um, and I'll say this for the cops, is that they didn't strike me as overly aggressive, and they were, they put in a lot of effort to make sure that he didn't get excessively hurt. Hell, the cop even got so bold as to say, "I have my taser out. I don't want to use it, so just relax. We're gonna take you outside. You're gonna sit on your bumper, and we're gonna have a conversation." And he said, "Okay." And once he calmed down enough, and they got him outside, they handcuffed him, of course, but they got him outside, and they sat down, had a conversation. You know what happened? He went home. I had to stand there as a bystander and watch this guy that was a regular customer. Um, he was being tackled by the cops. He was being put in handcuffs. The only thing that I could do as a kid, really, was make sure that that black and mild that he wanted to buy, I bought it for him. That's it. That's all I did. I gave him whatever change was laying on the floor that I could pick up, and I just bought the black and mild for him because I was like, he's gonna need it. He had a rough night. The least I can do is make sure that he's got some relief, some release from the bullshit that he just got put through, and the cops came in later, and they were like, I'm glad that resolved, the way it did, because we like him. We know him. He's somebody we know not to be violent. Somebody we know who's not a problem in the community, and he's a good person. And they were more concerned about his health and well-being because they were worried he was going to hurt himself. They weren't worried about him hurting me. As it turns out, they were like, he's not violent. He's not aggressive. He's not going to hurt somebody. And you know what? That that was something that I didn't know. I didn't think about. You know what I mean? Like, I never even thought to myself, "Oh, well, these cops are clearly arresting this guy for a reason." Well, they didn't even want to arrest him. As a matter of fact, they were more interested in making sure that not only was he not arrested, but that the situation was resolved, and that he could go home, to his crazy girlfriend who told the cops that he was, he had a weapon on him and all this other nonsense, and she ended up being ultimately the problem. Uh, I hope for his sake he didn't marry her. Um, but like that was where we were with society. Like things were better. We had a better idea of who everybody was. When the cops were in the community, like I'm sure that was sexy. Um, you know, Society was different then. We took care of our own because that's who was in the community. Our society was about looking after one another. We weren't worried about all the other nonsense that could come up. That wasn't what we were concerned about. What we were concerned about was making sure that everybody was taken care of, that everybody was okay. Sorry, and I wish society would get back to what we were doing then, because we were more. It was more important for us to, it was more important to us then to take care of our own, to worry about everybody, taking care of everybody. That's something that's truly missing in society today, is that, you know, we ultimately don't care about our neighbor enough. You know, I we have a Middle Eastern late, or not a Middle Eastern, but like a Central Asian, or a Central, God, I don't, or Eastern European neighbor, and we we absolutely love her. Um, she's you know she's the coolest neighbor we could have asked for. She's a good woman. She helped my wife through her. She helped my wife through her dilemma. I mean, she went through a period of time where she was very emotional and she was having, you know, difficulties. And you know what? That was the thing, is like, this woman really is really important to us. We try to make sure that she's taken care of. We try to make sure that, when it comes down to making sure her grass is cut, or making sure that, she's got the energy to do the things that she needs to do, or has the funds or whatever. We want to make sure that she's going to be okay, because we like her. We want her to be here when we decide before we decide to move, because no house is permanent now. That's not a thing that we want to we don't want to stay here forever. um I like Ohio, but I mean, good lord, Ohio is just, it's Ohio. Let's be fair. Ohio is what it is. And it's not terrible, but I don't you know I don't really care enough about my home state to want to stay here the rest of my life. And I can't imagine that I'm the only one who's thinking that. We don't always want to stay where we grew up. Sometimes it's nice, but I don't have any allegiance to my state. I barely support my favorite football team. Mostly because they're terrible year after year, and it's depressing to be a fan of a team that's always not good. Um, but no, that's kind of where we're at. And you know, I do this YouTube thing not because I'm hoping to make millions and millions of dollars and be a YouTube millionaire type deal. I'm not going to be Mr. Beast. That is not a thing that's going to happen for me. Um, would it be cool? Sure. Is it going to happen? Ooh, there's a really good chance that's never going to happen for someone like me, but that's okay because, you know, my favorite thing is to, watch movies, talk about movies, play video games, talk about video games. I'm kind of intrigued by Hogwarts, but I do not have the money to buy Hogwarts. And you know what? That's okay because if it was very important for me to buy it, if I it was part of my job, that would be a purchase that I would make sure I had. But you know what? It's not important. It's not a part of my job. It's not a requirement for me to do what I do best, and that is play video games, spend time with my family, spend time, you know, working. I put in 58 hours this week at work. Um, it is what it is. I mean, we all have a job that we have to go to. It's a job that maybe it's not our favorite thing to do, but you know what? We've got bills, and bills need to get paid. I'm still paying for the cancer treatments that I went through. And that's a thing that there are a lot of us out there that are still going through treatments and um, going through the rigmarole, really, of getting taking care of ourselves, taking care of our family. And it's what we do. We just go and try to do the best we can with what we've got, and we may struggle, we may fall, but ultimately it's our job to make sure that we take care of the ones we love. My job is to make sure that my family is happy, healthy, and will live a long, happy life. If I that's the only thing I can promise my wife is I will give her my forever. Um, that's pretty much all we can promise one another is we will give them the forever. I will give her everything of me. I will give her my I will give her my everything and hope that it's enough. I hope I get long enough to make keep my wife happy, to make my wife happy. Um, I want to see my son and daughter get married one day. It's you know it's silly, but that's the most important thing to me is making sure that I can see my family grow up and experience life. That's more important to me than anything else. I don't care about the money. Doesn't matter because jobs will come and go. You know, oof, nice hit. Jobs will come and go, but you know what? Family's more important. For me, for a lot of people, we only care and only do this because it's about our family. If we didn't if we didn't have family, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. Why would I do YouTube? If I had if I was 25 and I was working, an hourly job, my concerns wouldn't be about getting clicks, getting views. That's not important. What's important is making sure my bills are paid, making sure that food is in my fridge. That's where we are. That's who we are as a society is to make sure that we're taken care of. And I do this YouTube thing for fun. I mean, it is fun. This is I get to play video games. You get to watch me play video games. I talk about current things. Um, I tell you about shows not to watch. I haven't watched Teen Titans, the live action one. I've watched the original, and I've watched Teen Titans Go. Um, I miss my daughter watching that show all the time. She used to watch Teen Titans Go all the time, and that was fun for us. Is that we used to enjoy being able to share something that we grew up, really was a part of the comic book community. That was a thing. That was what we had. We had, Batman, we had Superman, we had Aquaman, and then they had the Robin, the Aqualad, just the secondaries, the young characters, their sidekicks sort of. That was cool for us back then. We were really enjoying doing that, and it's something I kind of miss. I kind of miss the good old days when, certain things were more enjoyable. You get to spend more time worrying about other things. Like currently I'm worried about what my son is doing behind me. Uh, Evan, what are you doing, buddy? You took off the band-aid that was holding the OK button on? You dropped it into the vent? His OK button. Evan, can you do me a solid and go upstairs? Do me this one favor, please, buddy. All right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we have the other remote, but it barely works. So we'll have to take the buttons off of it and put it into the other one if it'll fit. Yeah. Okay, so that's a thing that absolutely did happen, and so now I'm going to finish up here, and I am going to go and oh, something like that. Yeah, kiddo. Uh, what? What? Hour and 12 minutes. Yeah, no, I'm done here. I've done my video. I've oh shit. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to pull that apart and do the thing.
This out.
Don't. Yeah, I'll take care of it. Yay. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Liars. I mean, I love my kids, but I mean, come on, dude, really? Like, why? Why do you do this? Why do you do the things you do? What's this? Gather double ore? Oh. Okay. So I'm unlocking the hang glider thing because reasons and oh, what is this? Oh, I don't care about those. Um, bring the thunder. What is this? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do that one. It's fine. Uh, do I still have enough for the hang glider one? Wherever the hell that one is. Down here, maybe? What is this? That's unlocked. Better be unlocked. Oh, boom. What's this? Nope. Can't. Don't have enough coin. That's fine. What is this? Trading health for strength? No. This little our companion will always remain at your side and may even become your best. Yeah. Screw it. That one and this one. There we go. I don't know what any of those do. I don't really fully understand this game. I just play it because it's fun. It's fun to play. Um, I don't know. But unfortunately, my friends, I will have to try this. I'll probably do this tomorrow or something. I'll probably play Dark Tide tomorrow. But for now, I have to adult, so you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Uh,